Such a beautiful way to end Hunter x Hunter episode 58 and close this chapter on the spiders, the Phantom Troop. Oh my gosh, like no lie, people, I almost shed a tear at how artistically beautiful that ending was. So original, so different, and this is what makes Yoshihiro Tagashi a true standout among other mangaka. Like no lie, that no bullshit. This was a beautiful ending and such a unique and distinct way to end the arc that was so epic. Oh my gosh, like this episode, there was so much tension to it, and this was just chomping at the bit of, the finale. And I really didn't even see, after like that final scene of seeing the troop all together and what happened to Pakunoda, I didn't really see that going beyond that. But it did, and I loved seeing the ending. To be honest with you, my favorite scene, or definitely one of my favorite scenes because there were so many, was where one of the spiders at the end tells Gon and Kirawa, Pakunoda wanted to thank you. That was truly remarkable, beautiful, and I just really loved this episode a lot. It's not without disappointment. I'm going to be honest with you. There was one big disappointment. My biggest disappointment, probably the entire arc, is that Hisoka didn't get to get his jollies off by fighting Chrollo because of Chrollo's condition. That is my only disappointment throughout the entire arc, pretty much. For the most part, my only disappointment is that Hisoka didn't get to fight Chrollo. That's it. But other than that, like, he did it such a brilliant way. The way, like, Kurapika gets to get some peace at mind and gets to close a chapter in his life without having to become a killer. And I think that was done very well. He planned this out beautifully. Like, oh man, like this episode really was a great way to end the chapter. And I really just thought it was wonderful. The animation looked solid as ever. Madhouse was like the perfect fit. I don't think any other studio could ever match what Madhouse did with Hunter x Hunter. And this is what's going to make Hunter x Hunter one of those ongoing series that you look back and like, they did a beautiful job with that. Because it's ongoing and they have like movie quality animation. So automatically got to give props to that as well. And just overall, this episode really is not without fault, like I said, because the Hisoka part for me, it was like, oh shit, because it slipped my mind what happened with Kurapika and Chrollo about the Nen, that he can't use Nen no more. He's basically useless at the moment. Well, for the foreseeable future anyway, until they find another Nen user that can remove the Nen from Kurapika. That'll basically, stop the chain on his heart. And it really just was remarkable, honestly. Call it whatever you want, but I think it was done very well. Something unique. Made me really appreciate Pakunoda in the end, how she cared for all her members, and she was like, I hope this dies with me. And I thought that was brilliant as well. I wanted to tear that dude's head off, the one that was constantly aggressive. I need to remember all the Phantom Troops names, forgive me. I'm terrible when it comes to names. You will know that I am terrible with them. But I don't know. This episode is definitely remarkable. Closing a chapter and we're heading to Greed Island. But for everything the way it panned out, Kurapika didn't have to be a murderer, but he still sort of got his revenge by basically making Chrollo useless. Pakunoda's dead. And the troop kind of just like broke up in a way. They're going to try to find someday some way to get that chain off of Chrollo's heart. But for the moment, they're kind of just like all spread out. And I think it was done very well this episode. I want to talk a little bit quickly about the special because a lot of people linked me. There was a manga special about Kurapika's past that was recently released, and that was done as well. Pretty awesome to show the prejudice that him and his clan had to go through, and pretty much how he couldn't even get out of his clan, out of the village, because they were just so scared and everything. And I thought that was done nicely as well. So definitely two good things. We got that awesome one shot, and we also got this episode, and both of them really made me appreciate Kurapika. Now, from what I'm hearing, we won't see Kurapika. I don't know if it's for the rest of the manga up to, the later stuff or for a long time, but I'm a little sad about that because it kind of in a way already wraps it up in a way, his vengeance, his hatred. So there's not necessarily too much of a point for him other than to be companions with Gon and help them out in Killua and be friends with them. Leorio, pretty much his goal, it's almost as though when Yoshihiro finishes one of their goals, he kind of just wants them to be at peace and write them out of the manga. Like Leorio, after he got his goal, pretty much he became kind of irrelevant in a way. He doesn't really come too much. When he does come, it's kind of cool, but, for the most part, his goal was done, so we put a period on that. Now Kurapika seemingly is going to go that way as well, so a little bummed about that because Kurapika has become one of my favorites out of all the Hunter x Hunter main cast because I think that he's just a true Avenger, and it was brilliant. There was one shot that was kind of crazy because I remember, I don't know if Kishimoto was just heavily inspired, but there was a close-up of Kurapika's face when he was all freaked out, and it reminded me of I believe it was, I forget when it was, but it was Sasuke after he gets the Mangekyo, and he just looks crazy as well, so it looked really awesome. A funny moment, the only moment in this whole episode that made me laugh was when Hisoka was threatening so that he could get on board. I will kill Gon Kitawa if you don't let me on. And then he thinks to himself, JK. I laughed out loud. That was funny as hell. And all around, just a really, really amazing episode. One fault that messes it in a way is just the Hisoka thing, because I really wanted to see that battle go down. And after that, Hisoka's like, he don't got Nen? I don't want nothing to do with him. So, it's a give and a take with that. Overall, I would say that it's about a 9 out of 10 type of episode, just because of that 9.5. But as a whole, I probably will do an arc review at some given point on this. But as a whole, this episode wrapping up everything as far as the troop goes, I would definitely give this arc probably a 9.5 out of 10, maybe even a 10. I just got to really evaluate everything because it was just done very well. This is how you should do a shonen. This is a classic example of what shonen manga should be like, and it was brilliant. Let me know what you thought of the episode, though. What was your favorite moment? Do you think that artistically that was just done very well and beautifully? And also your thoughts on, were you disappointed that Hisoka didn't get to get his jollies off fighting Crollo? Because I wanted to see that, to be honest. I really wanted to see that, but it didn't go out that way. And overall, just your thoughts on the Phantom Troop. Final thoughts, because I believe after this episode we won't see them or hear of them anymore, because we're going to Greed Island, and I think that's basically just like the end of the chapter of them, period. We're not going to really get any more of them. But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy. Thumbs up one last time for the Phantom Troop, because this was an amazing arc, and with one or two little flaws, it really doesn't ruin it at all. It's just a phenomenal arc. So I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.